focusing on vaccinating those people who are most at risk and hardest to reach: elderly people, people with disabilities.
About a month ago, we saw some preliminary data at the state that was shocking to, I think, all of us, even though we knew there are different barriers, different opportunities in different communities. While we're showing that statewide, more than 75%, 3 out of 4 of older adults 65 and over have gotten a vaccine, the rates vary across race and ethnicities and across communities. So at our preliminary state data look about a month ago, the number that most jumped out to me was the vaccination rate for Latinos 60 and over was around 40%, half of what the state is tracking for white and Asian American elders, and strikingly lower than Latinos in their 50s, which is the only racial group where we see 60s lower than 50s. And then of course, 70s and 80s is even lower than 60s, when we know that those are even higher risk of the worst outcome from COVID, of course, losing your life. So that gap in Latino, and again, we saw a similar, not quite as bad, but if 80% is where white and Asian Californians over 65, the vaccination rate, and Latino was at 40%, Black and Native American elders were at about 60%. So we've got gaps by race and ethnicity, we've got gaps by age, and we undoubtedly have gaps by community, as we'll hear from our panel as well. So what are we doing about it? We're gathering here today. We've done a couple things. I think first, we have tried to make it easier logistically to get to the vaccine, push out from these mega sites to community sites, offer free transportation, offer phone lines, not just online sign up, offer drop-in without appointment. So we're trying to make it easier and getting the word out that it's easier than ever to find a vaccine as part of our message. The other piece is we know people have questions. Who wouldn't? And we're trying to make it easier for people to get those answers. So you have community groups getting outreach grants from the state so they can hear it from their community leaders and partners that they've worked with, maybe on the census or on voter turnout or on disaster preparedness. The same messengers can bring the vaccine. And of course, our all-star team at the state, our Surgeon General, Dr. Burke Harris, has done a lot of town halls with the African-American community. Our public health director, Dr. Thomas Aragon, has reached out a lot with the Latino community, and our chief epidemiologist, Dr. Erica Pan, has done a lot of work with the API community. So we continue to try to be there to answer people's questions about this unprecedented vaccine. And then thirdly, of course, you've heard the governor's new strategy to make it even more tempting to come get your vaccine with the gift cards and the chance to win big in the lottery. So we're trying a lot of things, but I think at the end of the day, we know what you know, which is that people need to hear information where they are from people they trust, and that's all of you, whether they're already reading your paper or their family member is reading your paper or listening to your radio show. We know that when people hear it from their grandkids, when they hear it from their faith leader, when they hear it from their best friend, that's when they go ahead and get the shot. So we're so grateful that all of you are here to hear from this panel of experts with their best thinking, and that you will help us give people that information they need to answer their questions, build that trust, and easily connect with the shot near them, and maybe win some money in the process, but most of all, get us to the immunity that they need to save their lives, and we all need to have a true, equitable California comeback.
Director McCoy-Wade just discussed why, because there are these big differences. And actually, there's some other differences in who's getting vaccines. It's not just that the older you are and which community and what part of the state you live in that makes a difference. It actually turns out that healthier older people are more likely to get vaccinated than less healthy older people, even though the less healthy people are the people most likely to get serious illness, to require hospitalization, and to die.